I'll get this all figured out one day. Am I back? Hopefully I'm back. Tell me I'm back. Hopefully you're back. Can you guys see me, hear me? Want to see me, want to hear me? What's going on, Scott? How are you? All right, so just as you see, I'm throwing down a little bit of a mow. There's a big owie down the middle of my yard. Oof, ouch. So I'm just throwing down a mow. I haven't mowed it since, when did we, last week. It's been exactly 1 week since I've mowed it, and you can tell there's a lot more grass clippings than I'm normally getting. Because I had this owie, I changed up my regimen just a little bit, and I should have been mowing it, but I haven't mowed it yet because I was trying to let this owie heal, and it's just gotten worse because I haven't taken care of it. My fault. I should have been giving it extra water instead of the 2 times a week, but I'll get it to rebound. Not a big deal there. Overall, I feel like I'm making a video right now when I have you guys here live. Intoxicated person run up in, what are you saying? Into the yard. Yeah. Intoxicated, I can speak. Intoxicated person nailed me right here. You see that? Like super straight. Pretty good. It was a wee person that got me there. He got me pretty good too. So overall, like I said, I should have been mowing a little bit more. I did nail my lawn with something different than I've been nailing it. You can kind of tell right over here that there is a difference in height between right here and right here. You can see that difference in the height. Some of these longer blades. You see this, how much it's grown? Not too shabby. So like I said, I did change what I was using this time because of this owie. I want to recover it. I want this to come back and do its thing a little bit more. But I hit my lawn with green pop. So to fix this little area, right here, I nailed it with green pop, and I can definitely tell it in the department of growth. This green has always been this green. Like, that's pretty beautiful. That's not so beautiful. I feel like Connor at this point in time. Yard owies. Anyways, you can see right at the end of this what has happened here. This bad boy was horribly placed over here, right where that head is. And so what we did is we moved it from this point to that point. And this is the results. If I were to do it again differently, I would cut the sod out here a touch differently. But overall, the little process that we used was super solid. I actually liked it quite a bit. It's going to give me way better coverage because this was over on the edge, and I only have coverage over here, in this corner, that corner, and then there's a head like right here. So it's nothing in the middle. So I needed this to be able to cover back and hit in between each one of the heads where it's supposed to be hitting, where I was getting all these dry spots. It's just now dialing this in and fixing this. And I think we're gonna be beautiful. Definitely not a bad thing. Water is gonna really help. It's gonna be king here. That green though, it's pretty hot. How are y'all tonight? How is everybody doing? I'm gonna leave the beast out on the lawn. I'm gonna have a sweet stripe right about that point. How is everybody doing though? Night's going really well. You guys having a good week? Hopefully you have a good weekend. What's going on with you? So southern Utah's been getting rain. It's had a couple of floods. And so up here in the northern part, we haven't had any of that kind of stuff going on, which sucks because we really could use it. We always get to the clouds. As you can see, these clouds are rolling in, but they're not going to be producing anything. There's no rain going to be in these clouds. It's all going to be for show. Show for only show. All right, let's see what you guys are up to, what you guys are talking about so far. What's going on? Good evening, all. Backwoods, good evening. Lazy Lawns, yo. Probably giving people time to join. That is what I was doing. That's why I did stop a little bit quickly and abruptly. Can you guys see the stripes I'm staring at? Looking pretty good. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was just letting you guys kind of join and get into the thing. That's why it was a couple of minutes early. And then obviously I didn't turn off my Wi-Fi from my house. So I was trying to connect, and that was causing a couple of problems. Just moved to my neighborhood lawn. Not going to be able to mow for 5 weeks because of the reno. It happens. Just mowed my neighbor's lawn. I can read, I promise. Up, gotta get your fix. Yep, gotta do that. Scott, Chaka, you're back. Good, good, good. Intoxicated person, yes. It was a little guy that got me there. Got attacked by wasps mowing a neighbor's lawn today. What a crazy day it was. Like a single wasp or quite a few wasps? Because that wouldn't be a good day. I wouldn't do very good on that. Sorry, I thought the corner wasn't sharp. Yep, you took a little bit too sharp. Took my lawn out. Not very good. Hello, Ned. How are you? Trevor, how are you? If you mow while looking at your camera, you might get straighter stripes. Connor tried that the other day. Yeah, my stripes always straighten up on the second pass, so I always have to do 2 passes. My first pass really always sucks, and then my second pass is pretty good. You probably can see it in my first pass on this one. Let's see. Your guys' things are over there. Yeah, a little bit. I get a little bit wonky when I get up to the top as I make my turn. I kind of curl them, so I fixed them pretty well. These don't look too horrible. Not too shabby at all. Not shabby. Interesting enough. Where are we? Hope you're okay, Andy. I'm in the market for a Time Master and a Big League Striper. Changed my mind. How big's your lawn? What are you trying to accomplish with it? And do you have any kind of curbing? What I mean by curbing is this decorative stuff right here. This is the stuff I'm talking about. Do you have any of this? Let me know, Scott. Let me know. Then I'll see if I can change your mind. Only one stung me out of roughly 8 that chased you. I ran really fast and got away. Yeah, that's why I can't get chased by them, because I don't run fast anymore. They'd catch me too quickly. Got fungus problems, too much rain and high humidity. So how much thatch and how much debris do you have in the soil? Is there anything that's holding moisture down there and not letting it dry up between rainstorms? Because that will, that's kind of the key to it, is to try to get it as dry as possible in between. And sometimes it's not easy because it's back to back to back rainstorms. But anything that's, holding moisture is definitely not going to be conducive to not having fungus. So is there anything going on there that you can fix, that you can help your lawn do a little bit better with? That might be one of those things. Once again, I've seen some success this year, crazy enough, with people using baby shampoo in between, because what it does, it helps the water drain quicker. Oh, that's my neighbor driving like a madman. Wow. It helps the water drain a little bit quicker, and so with water being able to drain and everything, it gets out of the soil quicker. So baby shampoo has helped. It's not a fix by any means. Getting rid of that moisture and then trying to stop as much moisture from getting into the soil as possible is kind of the fix. But overall, it's one of those things. Did you guys hear my neighbor come in hot? He was like hitting a couple of corners hard there. It's so humid here, but lacking rainfall as well. Ugh, humidity sucks. It really does. I'm glad that here in Utah it's a drier heat, but I wish that we would get some rain. I just don't need the humidity. I do not envy you people that have to have humidity. I like dry heat. I really like dry heat quite a bit. I think it's pretty good lines though. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too shabby. I normally am decent, but my second pass is normally my crisper. That's kind of where I get really straight and a lot better. So it's okay. 1,700 square feet, no curbing. Want longer width and cut, higher cut option. I'm going to change your mind. I really am. I'm going to tell you to actually go with the Turf Master instead of the Time Master. Go with the Turf Master. You'll get a longer run, and on that 17,000 square feet before you have to fill it up, because about 65 to 8,000 square feet is where I have to refill this. So on your lawn, you'll have to fill it up twice just to be able to do your whole lawn. No curbing, that's good, because with this striping kit, I get marks and stuff on it because it's so heavy and it's so rigid that it rolls up and it kind of jams on those. So that was the reason I was asking about that on the striping kit. Not a horrible setup by any means, but how's it going, Left Tool? Not a horrible setup by any means. But if I were purchasing and I wanted to get something again for my 8,000 square feet, I wouldn't do the Time Master. I'd do the Turf Master, and go with that, just because you would get a lot longer runtime because you have a bigger gas tank on it, and for such a big lot, you could even get away with a 0 turn. So the Time Master probably is a little underrated for that, to be honest, just because of you're having to fill up gas so often. My opinion there. I thatched my lawn late last year, but soap, I'll try it. Yeah, definitely try it. Double check though, make sure that there hasn't been things that is causing excessive buildup of any kind of dead grass or the thatch layer or anything in there that could be holding it, because air movement down and through really helps out. So, you know, maybe take it down a notch or two, and it will definitely help get that air flow going through it. If you're not really hot, you could go even a little bit lower just to help it like dry out the ground. But if you're getting heat along with it, then you know you'll have to do a fine juggling act there. Looks like some things dug up in the middle of your front yard. Yeah, I had a little guy out there. He was hopping on a shovel getting it. I have a clip of him with his shovel, and it was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. The little guy was out there just digging his heart out, and it was good stuff. Left Tool, hi again. You're the man. Thanks. Appreciate the honesty. Yeah, Scott, no problems. I just don't want you to get it and then just be like, oh, I got to fill this thing up, like, because my front yard's only 3,000 square feet, and when I do some types of striping patterns where I have to go back across it a couple of times, I literally, before I'm done with the 3,000 square feet, will have to fill up my gas tank. And it's just, I'm on a 3,000 square foot, but I've made, I don't know, like 3 different passes, 3 different ways on it. And so or I'm burning a stripe in. And so just with 17,000 square feet, I'd hate to have to keep stopping to fill it up. It would really drive me bananas. So yeah, no problems. The Time Master needs a gas tank double the size. Yeah, that's the reason why the Turf Master is such a good option, is because it comes with that big gallon tank on the top of it. That's all the top of it is, that gallon tank. And then it does come with a little bit more professional parts, and it is a little bit stronger and heavy duty, where it doesn't have like the transmission issues or anything that some of the earlier Time Masters had. This 223 something, whatever the 26 or 2017 model and up is, that engine hasn't really had so many transmission problems. I did have to change my transmission. My transmission did start leaking on this, so truth be told, I did have that, but it was covered under warranty and stuff. So, you know, these ones are a little bit more like higher end than the average homeowner grade, and they're definitely a bigger deck. But with something so large, yeah, just check something else out, take it another step further, and I think you'll just be happier in the long run. Yeah, it's going to cost a little bit more money, but maybe you can find one used. Wait, someone shoveled your yard? Yeah, they did. Yep, that's what this is, right? There. Right there. That is a shovel mark. Several shovel marks. Well, it's like rush hour coming into my yard, or into my neighborhood right now. Like 17 cars coming through. All right, someone shoveled the yard. Yep. Can you mock up a bigger gas tank on... Mock up doesn't take much, only a little know-how. You know how more than I do if you can mock it up. Because I would do a different type of up, and it would start with an F, and it wouldn't be pretty. Man, I will watch the video tomorrow. I need to get up early. Hey, Frankie, definitely, you know, if you need to watch in the morning, good to know. Your stripe off video, let's go ahead and have a stripe off like conversation right now. Frankie right now is in the lead. He has the most votes out of everybody right now. So I would recommend, if you got your stripes into the submission that you put it out there. Let people know to come vote for you, because he's currently in the lead. The United States is currently in the lead. And I can get behind USA being in the lead. Hey, you know, so I'm good with it. Definitely good with it. Can I cut 15,000 square feet easily on one tank of gas with my Toro Recycler 22? It's pretty fuel efficient mower. Yeah, it's not having to push those two different blades. When you're running 10 horsepower with two different blades, it's a gas sucker. It is, and it's a small tank. It's not very big at all. Let's go down there and we'll look at it. It's dirty. She's a dirty girl right now. Let's see what she's got. But yeah, it's definitely not a gas sipper. This is a gas guzzler, and it definitely makes a huge difference here. So this is the little wraparound gas tank right here, and so it's super small. She doesn't have a lot to this gas tank at all. Not very much. I don't know how big it is. It's nowhere close to a gallon though. It's definitely a smaller gas tank that just barely wraps around right there. Comes right here, little fuel filter. So yeah, it's not a sipper like the recyclers and those are. Having to push those two blades in that 30-inch deck, and it's 143 pounds, so it has to pull quite a bit of weight around and stuff. So it really, like, I hope that Toro takes that serious, and I know that it's been something that people have talked about before, is that if they were to put something a little bit heavier duty on that, as far as a gas tank is concerned. I don't think that it needs much more than a heavier duty gas tank, because overall it's pretty darn solid mower. But yeah, it definitely could use a bigger gas tank. Hey Dennis, how's it going? Backwoods laughing. Any watering restrictions yet? So with us, it's 2 times a week, and they're going to be shutting our water off on September 1st as far as secondary watering is concerned. So I will lose water on September 1st, and I will be going dormant for the end of this season. So not a whole lot of content after September 1st. I'll have to figure out some different changes and different things to be able to present and have for us here. But overall, before then, I do want to teach people how to get your lawn prepped for it so that it goes dormant easily and will come back out if we start getting water, or it comes out better next spring, and what to expect, and you know what to watch for, and hopefully how to rebound really quickly out of that. There's mosquitoes and stuff out here tonight. It's kind of muggy. I actually feel kind of like humid. It feels icky. But yeah, overall, the water restrictions, they've just given us the 2 times a week. I put a video out a long time ago that taught people how to get their lawns down to 2 times a week, how to see it, how to adjust for it, and how to make their lawns actually perform off of it. Mine has always only been, at max, it was 3 times a week 2 years ago, no, when I established it. And then the next year I did once a week. For 2019 and 2020, I was only doing once a week. This year I'm back up to 2 times a week, just because of how hot it is and how quickly it dries up my reserves up top. And I see a little bit of struggling in my lawn because I don't know how, well, we had a dry winter is the kind of the real problem, is that I think that I lost a lot of my root systems that were down deep, and I just haven't been able to really get them back this season. So I've always just watered once or twice a week, and it's not a difficult process. People can get it to that point. We just need that inch of water in those 2 waterings, and you have to cycle it so that we don't get a lot of runoff, so that it saturates and then hits that saturation point. You go into the next zone and then come back after that it's ready to accept water again. But overall, yeah, not any huge changes since then. Still September 1st, unless they change it from that point. They could go sooner. People are watering every single day. They're not taking it seriously. Your lawn, like their lawns, I'm super interested as soon as they do kill our water to see what their lawns actually do, because they've been watered every single day. Their roots are so shallow. I want to see how it rebounds next year. It's going to be one of those things. They do watch my channel, so I can't like directly call them out, but it's one of those things that I can say, I have noticed that with lawns like us that have been watering deeply and infrequently, here's what we saw on my lawn. Here's what we saw on those lawns that are doing that. And here's what we saw from those who are watering every single day, and not pointing the finger, but just knowing that, we have a direct comparison between the two. Yeah, so overall, not anything new. What about you guys? You guys experiencing anything throughout the United States, through the West Coast, where we're having these dry issues? I know back east, you guys are getting pretty hammered wet, aren't you? They should cut everyone off of secondary water except for Jeremy. He deserves to have the water year round. I I would really appreciate that, but I'm kind of interested. I'm not super duper bummed that I'm losing it early, only because it's kind of a good telling point. It's one of those things I think I can make a lot of content around, saying, hey, this is what's going on. This is how you prevent this. And I think I can get a lot of solid content out of it. If anything, I can get those types of things that will help us for the future. Tell everybody the reasons why you should be watering deeply, because this is how my lawn rebounded versus other lawns. And I think it's going to be super beneficial. So I'm not super duper bummed, but I would appreciate it if they just kept my secondary on and cut everybody else's. Hey, I'd like to be the greener lawn, the only greener lawn around. All right. Mr. Voice, what's your favorite insecticide? I spent weeks thinking fungicide on my backyard. Favorite insecticide? Spent weeks, but I ended up being insect problems. I'd like to be ready for the next year. So it depends on what you are dealing with. If you are dealing with stuff that can be taken care of by bifenthrin, then that's an easy one. That's kind of a cheaper one. It's a nice, super simple, kind of easy run-of-the-mill insecticide. If you're dealing with more of like grubs or some things that aren't hit by bifenthrin, you got to get a little bit more specific with what you're targeting. So let's have that conversation. Just, hit me up on Instagram and we'll see what bugs you are dealing with and what fits your needs the best. Because you're in New York, your issue is going to be, there's a lot of things that you're not going to be able to get your hands on. You're going to have to use stuff from big box stores in 90% of the situations because of where you live. And that's just, the culture, the climate that you live in, and that's totally fine. But let's see what bugs you're dealing with, and then we can definitely target the pesticide for the insects that you are experiencing. Because I hate to say, oh, just go get bifenthrin when it's something that isn't touched by bifenthrin, and some insecticides work better for certain bugs or for certain pests than they do for others. And so let's have that conversation. Yours is going to be a little bit more tricky, and it's a little bit of research on my side because I have to always look up your guys' laws and rules when I see it. But we'll definitely figure it out for you, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks so that when you're dealing with your homeowners there, that they'll be able to, you'll be able to give them kind of the tricks that I use from here from Utah. You'll have the insiders know. Alrighty, so happy Wednesday all. Hey Ron, good here, but seeing some weed pressure. Might overseed this fall, so skip the second per diamine app. Going to try Triad Select. Nice, not a bad one right there. So there's, here in Utah, we've had a really huge bloom of weeds. Our secondary waters, as it's getting lower, it's pushing a lot of seed and stuff through that's starting to pull whatever is down and in the canals as it's coming down, and it's like giving us all that canal water and the seeds that are within it. I am seeing a lot of spurge this year, and I've never had a spurge problem per se. And I am seeing a lot of barnyard grasses again here in Utah. So yeah, with the heat and with the different pressures that our lawn's going through, it is weakening it in spots, and it is making it so it's more susceptible to weed breakthrough. And that's what we're seeing when we're seeing more weeds, is that some kind of pressure, some kind of issue is affecting the grass, and the weeds are being able to take over versus it choking it out. Because it's just like in the middle of my lawn, the only thing that can break through and that I'll see out here in the middle is bindweed every once in a while. Yeah, pH problems are definitely what's going to help with weed pressure. But if it's going so hot, or if there's other different pressures, it does contribute to it also. But yeah, pH problems is always something we have to deal with here in Utah. We're usually super high pH. But as you see, like I was saying, out here in the middle, bindweed is a super high like pressure that we have here, because we have fields that are just right over here, and it keeps coming in, and I keep getting it. I keep spreading it out, but that's the only thing that basically can hit me out here. Out along my edge out here is it gets so toasty that I have that pressure from on it out there, and you can kind of see it a little bit. It's really bad over here in the corner. I gotta do a cup test and see what's going on out here. But over here in the corner, or out in my park strips, they have really high heat, like that water is pounding them, and I can't get enough water in these between my 2 days to really sustain really well. They're the best that they've ever looked, because I did move them last year, my sprinklers every other side. But overall, park strips, health strips, mow strips, these parkway places that people have are where a lot of weed pressure and stuff will get in there, and it's easy to get it in. Along your sidewalk areas is really easy to get that pressure in as well, and you just kind of have to pay attention to those areas. But overall, yeah, weed pressure is one of those things that can definitely happen. If you did put a pre-emergent down, which my front yard never gets a pre-emergent, if you put a pre-emergent down, it should still be kind of helping out and blocking, because it's supposed to block the summer weed. And sometimes just weed pressure can pop through on you because stuff breaks down. I think out here, had I put it down, I would have gotten a little bit of pop through anyways, because of how hot it is and it's been, and it would have broke down my pre-emergent regardless of on my park strips out here. All right, so flip it back around to me. Come here, there you guys are. And great summer for rain here. It's been a great growing season. You're bragging. Every time anybody mentions rain, you're bragging, because we got none. This is what it's going to do. You're going to see this. See that? No. If we get anything, it's going to be a little thunderstorm and lightning, but no rain. So I get a little bit of pop of nitrogen, which is cool, because we get nitrogen release when it's lightning outside. That always helps out. But overall, there's not going to be any moisture that it goes hand in hand at all by any means. What's going on, Lawn Father? No watering restrictions in Chicago. We've been getting rain, and we are getting heavy thunderstorms at 2 a.m. Allegedly, but who knows? It's Chicago weather, changes every 10 minutes. Yeah, Utah is super notorious for that change up, because we're in this little valley of mountains, and so we get some super weird change up on the weather that we experience extremely quick. It can rain, snow, be super windy, be super sunny and hot all in one day. We've seen it. What's up, Dennis? pH problems, correct. Definitely pH problems will affect what the weeds can do, because they like a little bit higher pH levels. The regular pH levels that our grasses like, weeds don't thrive as well in those. Even though they can definitely, but outside those parameters, grass isn't its tolerances, and so it's not pushing hard to suppress. It's one of those things where it has to then compete against the weeds who are more in their favorable conditions. Let's see, not much, Andy, just relaxing after spending a lot of time in the sauna outside doing yard work. Yeah, definitely understand that. Nitrogen release from lightning, please explain. Nitrogen is a release from the lightning. I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm not going to be rambling on about something I don't know much about. It's just one of those things that I've always heard the lawn care nut talk about. I've never looked into it, but it does have a nitrification process that happens as the lightning occurs, and it releases nitrogen to be able to come down to our soils and gives us a free nitrogen green up. You'll notice after a storm, a rainstorm or a lightning storm, that you'll get a little bit greener lawns after the fact, because it does naturally release the nitrogen through nitrification. Like I said, I'm outside my realm. I don't know much. It's just one of those general things that I've heard and I've never done a lot of research on. Maybe that's my homework for the week, is understand nitrification from lightning, right? But yeah, it does release nitrogen, and it does help our lawns after a lightning storm. And I've seen the effects. I've definitely seen it. One of the nice things, yeah, it does make sense. One of the nice things about it is that we get a lot of dry lightning storms here in Utah, and with the difference in the lightning and then having high iron in my water, that's what really helps my lawn stay green and pop green. As you can see, it's definitely a decent green and definitely looks good, except for the little scar right down the middle. For all those that haven't seen the scar yet, there's a scar in the middle of my yard. Ouchie. As Jimmy would say, that'd be ouchie kawawa. That's a nice guy noise. So hopefully your guys' Wednesday is going extremely well. Hopefully your guys' lawns are looking great. Hopefully everything is on track for you. If not, let's have a conversation. Hit me up on email and have a conversation, or let's talk on DM on Instagram. Definitely one of those things that we can help you out with, get you going on track, get everything looking good again, and hopefully fix all our owies that we're having inside of our lawns. I am not going to let you guys go now. I'm actually going to finish my mow, and then I will let you guys go. But hopefully your guys' week turns out to be pretty great. Hopefully everybody enjoys their time. The wind started to blow. That's the reason why I got up and I started moving, is because this mic is now going to turn into horrendous and you're not going to be able to hear me very much. And just in the off chance that these clouds do produce rain, I don't want to be doing this in the rain. So I will keep you guys live. You guys can watch me mow if you don't want to watch me mow. It was good seeing you guys. Hopefully you guys have a great week. And I'm Jeremy of The Greener Lawn. Make her green. You can turn your volume off now so that the wind noise isn't bugging you too. not too shabby. For those of you who are still here. The diehards, I like it, I like it. I was seeing a little bit better from up here when I was doing it. I should have put you guys at this angle so that you guys could have saw it a little bit better. Not too shabby, not looking too bad. Yeah, big scar down the middle, huh? Come and help me with that, Lawn Whisperer. Definitely would appreciate a little bit of help there, a little bit of assistance. But overall, yeah, hopefully you guys' rest of your week is great. I just want to show you guys the finished product since I was doing it, and hopefully you guys have a great rest of your week. I'm Jeremy in the, I wish you could. It's that green that when you were here, it's definitely popping on the green scale. Definitely is doing its thing. Send me some of your midnight or your other products. Let's see what it can do to it. See how well we can get this green to liven up a little bit, huh? I'm Jeremy of the Greener Lawn. Hopefully you guys have a great week and make her green.